Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Teacher Luke of Pinay IELTS Teacher. Today we're focusing on general training writing task 1, specifically your letter writing. Before we go there, you are to remind yourself of your writing scoring rubric. These are the areas of how you're being graded with your IELTS writing. You need to nail this down, guys, because for you to know how to get that score, you have to find out what you need to do or what are the elements that must be found in your writing to get that band score. So I suggest research on this or watch my earlier videos to know about more about these scoring rubrics. Just a reminder, for your IELTS Task 1, or general training, which is letter writing, you need to finish that ideally within 20 minutes. You have to write a minimum of 150 words, but I suggest don't just write 150. Go way above it, like 160, 180, but don't go more than 200 words because that will give you a very lengthy letter that is very time consuming. Remember, you have a more important writing task to do, which is your writing task 2, the essay part. You want to have more time for that. Okay, so you don't want to spend so much time on writing task 1. Okay, for the letters, we have 3 types of letters: informal, semi formal, informal. For this one, we're going to talk about formal letters. And then, what are the task scenarios? So, these are some of it, but not limited to these. You either give or ask for information, give or ask for opinion, express like or dislike, or file complaints. So, what are the elements of a letter that must be present there for you to get a high band score? Okay, so I summarize it in these bullet points. First, you have to exceed the minimum number of words. Don't go flat 150, just in case they are to omit some of your words. And if that falls below 150, then you fall short on your task achievement. Okay, task achievement. Task achievement means were you able to write within the minimum number of words? Were you able to answer all the given tasks for you? That's your task achievement. So make sure you exceed a little bit from that, but don't go way beyond 200. Okay? Use transition words to make your ideas cohesive. Later, we will practice using transition words in your writing. Use relevant vocabulary. So in this case, we're not going to use idioms or idiomatic expressions because we are doing a formal letter. We only encourage these ones in your informal letter or your speaking test. Okay, but not on semi-formal or formal letters. Use varying tenses of verbs and sentence structures. This is for your grammar range. Use the appropriate tone. Again, you will not be informed what type of tone you have to apply when using the letter. It is up to you to find out. But don't worry, we have things, reminders or ways to determine what type of tone you'll be using. So go on and watch my earlier video that differentiates these 3 letters. Okay, so for you to be knowledgeable about that. Now be specific and add details to make your letter realistic. This is the part where you invent some things, be creative, so that you add more of these specific details in your letter and it becomes a more well-structured letter. Okay, follow the flow of the bulleted task. This is also for your coherence and cohesiveness as well as task achievement. Because if you are able to follow the bulleted task, it means you were able to achieve all the tasks given to you, which is for your task achievement. And you were able to structure it in a very organized manner, which is for your coherence and cohesion as well. So guys, always follow the flow of your bullet points on your given task card. And later, let's take a look at that. But for now, let's discuss some elements of the formal letter. Formal letter never uses contractions. So which means when you say I've, I have, you're not to use I've, your, these kinds of shortened words because those are only found in your informal letter. In fact, it's very encouraged if you start writing your informal letter. But for formal letters, please never, ever, ever use any contractions, slangs, or idioms. We want to keep it the most formal and professional way that we can. For the voice, you have to use the third person point of view or the passive voice. For example, the active voice is something like, I will finish the project tomorrow. It's using I as the subject. In the passive voice, you want to avoid I as much as possible, although sometimes you may not be able to avoid it. But what we mean here is that by using a third person perspective, you have a very formal tone, or you keep the tone in a more professional way. For example, to convert that to a passive tone, you say something like, the project will be finished tomorrow. So in that way, you're not focusing on the I, but you're focusing on the project as the subject of that sentence. For the common greeting, it is always, 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 dear sir or madam. In fact, on your cue card on the IELTS test, it is already a giveaway. You will immediately know that it is a formal letter because it says there down below. Begin your letter as follows, dear sir or madam. So please do not change that anymore. The fact that the IELTS test already put it that these are the words you need to begin with, do not just go and invent your greeting. You have to follow that one. And that is only true for your formal letter. Okay? Now for the farewell, just like your semi-formal letter, it is very professional. You say sincerely yours, respectfully yours faithfully, gratefully yours, and stuff like this. So it's a very formal farewell. All right, so now that we have that finished, let's look at our sample task card. You and your friends ate a meal at a restaurant to celebrate a special occasion, and you were very pleased with the food and service. Write a letter to the restaurant manager. In your letter, give details of your visit to the restaurant, explain the reason for the celebration, and you say what you like about the food or service. So, this is an example of expressing a compliment or being grateful for a service you received. And because you're writing to a restaurant manager, this is not a person you know, you don't have a direct personal or a direct professional relationship, then it falls under a formal letter. Okay, so now let's start writing our outline. Why do we need an outline? I've been emphasizing this. The outline does 50% of the job. Some people want to start writing ahead of time. What will happen is you get stuck with your ideas and you spend more time there. Before you know it, you ran out of time and you're cramming how to finish the letter. You don't even know what direction you're going into. But if you give a few moments of your time, like 3 to 5 minutes at the beginning, to create a strong outline, then you now have a guide. And all you have to do is glance at your guide and elaborate those keywords that you wrote on your outline. And now, boom, you have a structured letter. So outline is the key, guys. So when we write an outline, we want it the quickest, fastest, the quickest and the easiest way possible. You don't want to cram it with too much words. You want to use keywords, 2 to 3 ideas per bullet point. You want to limit it there. Don't go expounding too much on all these details. You want to limit your idea to 2 to 3, but you still want to have enough ideas to elaborate them. Remember, you have to make a minimum of 150 words. So 2 to 3 ideas is perfect. All right, so let's go straight to it. For the greeting, you already know this. All of our greeting for the formal letter is always, 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 dear sir or madam. No variations whatsoever. For the introduction always follows the greeting. This is the part that you say your intention why you are writing. And you must do that at all cost. So, I'm writing to, thank or compliment. Okay, for the excellent. All right. So that's it. I'm writing to thank or compliment the manager for the experience, the very good dining experience we had, right? Because that is what the task is saying. You're going to express your sentiment that you were really pleased with that experience. All right, going back to paragraph 1, it says, give details of your visit to the restaurant. So, this is the part, as I've said earlier, when you're creating an outline, be creative. Use details. Create a storytelling in your mind. So, in my head, perhaps I'm thinking that it was last Saturday that I visited the restaurant together with my friends, and it was to have dinner. Okay? That's simple. It's a dinner for a celebration with me and my friends, and we visited it last Saturday. So your ideas might be a little different from me, but what I'm just showing you guys here is limit your keywords 2 to 3 per bullet point. Right? Now let's go to paragraph 2. It says, explain the reason for the celebration. So now you're going to explain why are you celebrating. Okay, so I'm thinking that it perhaps was a birthday of our friend's birthday. I would say friend's birthday. And also, because I want to have 2 to 3 ideas, if I just say friend's birthday there, I might not have enough to elaborate for that paragraph. So perhaps I could also say it's also a reunion, since that friend, uh, because that friend has been overseas for the last years. Okay, so 3 keywords: friend's birthday, reunion, overseas. Okay, that's why this celebration was important. Now I'm creating a scenario that we haven't seen each other in a long time. And that moment was very valuable because we get to celebrate that. And it was a very memorable experience since we enjoyed the service and the food. Okay? Now, paragraph 3 is saying, say what you like about the food or the service. So, what did I like? Perhaps the servers were hospitable. Okay? And also, I could say like um, the chef, we the chef approved of our request. So perhaps that request was for fresh seafood to be served fresh, even if it's not part of the menu. That's already the story I'm going for. Okay, and also, they gave free wine. All right. So the service were hospitable. The chef approved the request of serving fresh seafood, even if that's not part of the menu. And also, they even gave a free or complimentary wine. So that's the scenario in my head why I like the food and the service. Okay, for the closing sentence, because closing sentence is always, remember, closing sentence is a summary of what you wanted to do with the letter or what you want to do moving forward. So, moving forward, I will recommend this to my friends and perhaps I will be back again. Okay? Closing sentence is always what you want to do moving forward. So, I will recommend to my friends and I will be back to dine in again. All right? Sign off or farewell, it's always very formal. So, I will just say sincerely yours. And then my name. My name for a formal letter is always the full name, first and last name. All right. Now that we have that, let's look at our outline. It gives us an overview now of the full direction of our letter. We know that we're writing to a restaurant manager. We're writing to thank them for a good service. The service happened last Saturday during a dinner. The dinner was a celebration for a friend's birthday. It was also like a mini reunion since we haven't seen that friend who was overseas for a couple of years. Okay. And then also, what we enjoyed are the hospitality of the servers. The chef approved of our special requests, and they even gave us a free wine. Closing is I will recommend them to others, my family and other friends, and I will definitely be back for more. I'm thinking also of adding something like I'm now a loyal customer. Because of that experience, now they earned a loyal customer. All right? That's an added thing that I think would be good on my letter. So with that already sorted out and see that it took just a couple of minutes, now I'm confident to start writing my letter. Okay, so let's begin. I would say, dear sir or madam. Okay, I'm writing to I'm writing to express my utmost gratitude. Okay, why am I saying utmost gratitude instead of saying I'm writing to thank? Because remember, this is a formal letter. We want the choices of our words to be as formal as we can. Now that's entirely up to you, but for my preference, I want to use a better and more formal words to just saying thank you. So I'm just going to use utmost gratitude. I'm writing to express my utmost gratitude and compliment to your staff for the exceptional dining experience we had in your restaurant. All right? So that is my introduction. That says exactly why or the reason for writing a letter. Now, let's go to paragraph 1. I'm going to talk about my describing my visit to that restaurant. So I would say like last Saturday, we celebrated. All right, I didn't say. So since this is the birthday of my friend, I would just say we celebrate the 30th birthday as well as. Okay, now I'm sort of changing this. I'm gonna put reunion in here. And then for my reason why it was special, because my friend has been overseas and it was like reconnecting again. Okay, that's my idea. Because I think if I just put last Saturday and dinner there, I would run out of ways to talk about it in this paragraph. So be very flexible to adjust whatever feels more appropriate in the flow of your letter. So I would say something like last Saturday we celebrate the 30th birthday as well as reunion with one of our close friend. As such, the wonderful meal together with the excellent service made it a perfect dinner. So this is just me adding another sentence because I feel like the words that I put in outline has already been said here and I want it longer. Remember, you need to have 150 words. So I'm just adding extra details there. Like, this is what we celebrated. Okay. And because of that wonderful meal together, it was perfect altogether. That's just what I wanted to say. For paragraph 2, it's saying explain the reason for the celebration. What I wrote in the outline is overseas reconnecting again. So I would say something like because it has been years since our friend immigrated overseas, the celebration was truly memorable and meaningful for all of us. It allowed us to reconnect with each other's lives. So now I'm truly explaining why that celebration was important. What's the reason for that celebration? Okay. Um, this is the part now, paragraph 3, is where I'm going to talk about what service and food was I satisfied with. So I add here transition words. Needless to say, the servers were very hospitable and the food was exquisite. So remember, I want to use words that instead of saying the food was great, great kind of like sounds a bit informal to me. So I would use exquisite, which is sort of like a more sophisticated way of saying great with the food. So food was exquisite. Even though, okay, this is now I'm talking about the chef. Even though it was not part of the menu, the chef favored our request of serving fresh sea food. In fact, he even served us complimentary wine. Truthfully, this exceeded our expectations. So why did I add that even if it's not part of my outline? Well, first I want to make my letter longer by adding this touch, and it's still part of the general idea why I was happy with the service. So I say something like, truthfully, this exceeded our expectations. All right, now I'm going to my closing sentence, which is what I want to do moving forward. With this, I have recommended your restaurant to family and friends. Expect that we will frequently visit and dine in your premises, for we now consider ourselves loyal customers. Okay? Sincerely yours is my farewell and then my full name, right? Okay, now that we have read that, now that we finished that, let's read it together. Dear Sir or Madam, I'm writing to express my utmost gratitude and compliment to your staff for the exceptional dining experience we had in your restaurant. Last Saturday, we celebrated the 30th birthday as well as reunion with one of our close friends. As such, the wonderful meal together with the excellent service, the wonderful meal together with the excellent service made it a perfect dinner. Because it has been years since our friend immigrated overseas, the celebration was truly memorable and meaningful for all of us. It allowed us to reconnect with each other's lives. Needless to say, the service were very hospitable and the food was exquisite. Even though it was not part of the menu, the chef favored our request of serving fresh seafood. In fact, he even served us complimentary wine. Truthfully, this exceeded our expectations. With this, I have recommended your restaurant to family and friends. Expect that we will frequently visit and dine in your premises, for we now consider ourselves loyal customers. Sincerely yours, Maria Lassam. All right, that sounds like a well structured letter. If I'm not mistaken, that will somewhere give us 170 words, could go higher than that, but still within our ideal number of words. Let's look at our model example here. I mean, I place it in this box so that we have a better picture of the elements that we're looking for in the letter. Make that a little bit bigger. Okay. So now we're looking at the elements of the letter, meaning the scoring rubric. Are they present there so that we can have a high band score from what we just wrote? So let's try to underline. So I suggest you research on these scoring rubrics so you understand now this part where I'm analyzing the letter that I just wrote. So now I'm going to underline all the words or all the sentences that have compound and complex. Okay. This definitely is a complex because functions as a subordinate conjunction there. Okay. Needless to say, the service and the food was exclusive. So this was a compound sentence because the word and functions as a compound conjunction. Even though, so now this is also a complex sentence structure, even though functions as a subordinate conjunction. Even though it was not part of the menu, the chef favored a request of food. In fact, he even, okay, this is not. This is just a simple sentence. In fact, he even served us a complimentary wine is just a simple sentence. Okay. With this, I have recommended my family and friends. Okay, expected from prime premises. For now, we consider ourselves loyal customers. So that is a compound sentence because for functions as your compound conjunction. Or sorry, coordinating conjunction. All right. So now we see that last Saturday we celebrated as well as reunion with one of our close friends. That is a compound conjunction here. So that's a compound sentence there. Now that we're done with that, let's look now that we establish our range in our grammar structures or sentence structures, let's look at our grammar tenses, the past, present tense. So let's see. Okay. We celebrated is a past tense. Celebrated, so that's a past tense. Okay. Has been is a past participle. It means it's in the past but still going on until now. Okay, was truly memorable is in past tense. Were very hospitable, that's past tense. Was not past tense. Okay, favored past tense. Exceeded past tense. Okay, let's just I have recommended is past participle, meaning that you already recommended, but it's still ongoing. You're still recommending them. We will frequently visit. We will frequently visit is future tense. So now I was able to use past, present, and future tenses in my writing. Okay? So I only highlighted past and future tense, and the rest that you see perhaps are present tense already. So I don't have the time to highlight everything, just so you see that I was able to use past and future tense as well. Then there's the variation. The important thing is there's variety, okay? Just like in your sentence structure, there's variety with simple, compound, and complex. The same is true with your grammar tenses. There's a variety with the um, present, past, and future tense. All right, with that said, let's look at your transition words. Last Saturday is like transition for that. It's a time transition. As such, you're being more specific, okay? And then needless to say, this is also a transition expression. Truthfully, all right, with this. All right. These are your transition words, the one in blue. As I've said, they make sure that the transition from one idea to another is smooth and therefore giving more coherence. Coherence is when your ideas are connected with one another. Okay? So using more transition words would create a more structured transition or a more smooth flow when you read your letter. All right, let's look at your vocabulary or your lexical resource. Utmost gratitude. Uh-huh. Compliment. Yep. Exceptional. Okay. What else? Immigrated overseas. What else? Exquisite. Menu is a good vocabulary too, no matter how simple that word is. Complementary. Um, expectations, I guess. Exceed our expectations, good collocation, but I already highlighted that as past tense, so just so you won't confuse, I'm just going to highlight expectation there. Premises. Loyal customers is a collocation as well. All right, so that's it. I think we have that nailed down. Also, we had is a past participle. All right. Okay, sorry, loyal customers too. All right, that's it. So by doing this analysis, now you can check, okay, do I have task achievement? Yes. You were able to finish about 170 words. You were able to answer all the bullet points that it's being asked of you. That's for task achievement. Check on that. Did I have lexical resource or vocabulary? Yes, you would see all the orange ones there are good vocabularies that are related to the topic. Did I use did I have coherence and cohesiveness? Yes. The fact that you followed the bullet points gives it a structured way of organizing your letter, and also the fact that you're using transition words gives a smooth cohesiveness to it. And then lastly, your grammar range and accuracy. So for the grammar range, two types: your sentence structure, which is simple, compound, complex sentences. The second type of range is your grammar range, which is using different tenses of verbs. I'm sorry, grammar tenses, tenses of verbs like past, present, future tenses, future past participle, present participle, stuff like this. So you don't really have to use complicated ones as long as there's a variety in your sentence structure. In my case, I use past tense, present tense, future tense, even have past participles, has been, have recommended, okay? So this is how you check that you're being able to satisfy all the requirements to get a high band score for your IELTS test. right? But the only way I was able to do that is I created an outline first. The outline gives your whole structure, it gives you direction, and you save more time because now you have a direction. And that extra time dedicated to writing a letter now makes you want to add all these details so that you have a well constructed letter that is able to satisfy all the requirements to have a high band score. Okay? So that's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment down below what you think I should discuss further. If there are things that you need clarification, feel free to do so. Please tune into my channel. Click that bell button if you want to be notified every time I give an upload. Expect more educational things, tips, tricks, strategies, free tutorials such as this one to help you in your IELTS preparation journey. So again, this is Teacher Luke from Pinay IELTS Teacher. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you again next time. Bye.